Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we can just hop right into it, honestly. Where are you from?
I am from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Mm.
That's like the district I'm in. I'm from like a small town over here. It's kind of like a farm town almost, very small. Like the population's probably like 5,000, 6,000.
Oh, wow, that's tiny, yeah.
Yeah, it is a very small town, small high school, stuff like that. Like everybody knows everybody.
Oh, yeah, one of those kind of movie-esque movie town.
Yeah, real life for me.
When did you start writing?
Um, I think I started writing like middle school, probably like eighth grade. It wasn't anything like that's whenever I started, but I kind of like took breaks with it throughout high school and wasn't something I was doing like every day. But probably like right after I graduated high school. I'm a freshman in college right now, but yeah, right after I graduated high school is whenever I started like writing every day and like actually trying to make songs and stuff like that.
Where are you going to school? What are you studying?
Right now it's business management. I'm just going to like my local community college, but I want to transfer over to the University of Central Oklahoma. They have a really good music program there, so I'll probably go there after I get my associates.
Okay, so you want to... You keep going, my bad.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I'll probably like change my major to something music related if I do get accepted in that college, because like there's only like it's called AMC. It's like a special campus or whatever, and there's like one in each continent, and then the one in the North America continent just happens to be in my state.
Oh, wow.
And like only like 2 hours away. So
that's solid. That's nice. So you want to study like more the music theory side, or what type of stuff do you want to get into?
It would probably be sound engineering, like mixing and mastering. I took a class back in high school for that, and I just really enjoyed doing it. And like right now, I'm like the one mixing and mastering all my friends' projects, and there's definitely a lot more I can learn for it. And it just really interests me, and I love doing it. So yeah, doing that.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Because I just saw, I think yesterday that you, excuse me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, is Saros? The collective?
Yeah, Saros.
Saros, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how did that come together? Is that who you're mixing and mastering for?
Yeah, that's like so there's 5 of us right now. It's me, Jedos, Ian in the Water, Freddie Fargo, and AV Hendrix. So yeah, it's just kind of like a small collective. Me and Ian in the Water, we've known each other since like 2013. Just like we met online and we've kind of stayed in touch this whole time. But he's a rapper. He's actually putting out his debut project later this month. We just finished it today.
Great.
And the one of the producers, Jedos, he produced my full project, and then that's Paradigm Shift, and then he produced all of Ian's project. And then Freddie Fargo produced my last EP, which was Baby Steps. And then AV is just one of Freddie's friends. So, like, we always, like, talk on Discord and kind of work on music together every night. So, yeah, that's kind of how the collective started, with us just, like, making music together. And then we just decided, why not?
Definitely. Yeah, no, that's great. And that's the best thing about the internet is that the audience, you know what I mean? You can make all these little groups and kind of just meet all through Twitter pretty much. And that's, it's very exciting. And you have
especially because, like,
Discord.
Yeah, like Jedos, he's from he lives in Australia. Freddie Fargo lives in London, and then AV lives in Saudi Arabia. So we are definitely spread out.
Yeah, worldwide reach.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
That's cool.
What do you think? Would that be like? Would the goal of the collective just to be working on music together, or where do you see it going?
Yeah, it's really just like, I mean, we're all friends and we all make the same style of music. So it's kind of, it also kind of like helps build each other up more. So like we're kind of seen more as one and like affiliated with each other. I think I have like the biggest following in the group. Just because like I'm the only one that's put out a project besides Freddie, but like we're kind of like on the same level following wise. But I don't know. I love Ian and Jedos's and AV's music. So like if I can help get them up to where I'm at or even surpass me, then I'm all for that. Like I want to see them succeed. And I mean, that's not like the only reason for the group, but that's one of the benefits.
Right.
And I don't know, we just enjoy making music together.
No, that's great. It's great to have that type of community going on for yourself. That's real exciting.
Yeah.
Speaking on your collaboration with Jedal's Paradigm Shift is the latest project, right?
Yes.
How does that come together? Where was that? Because Paradigm Shift is like defined as as I'm reading off of my little Google thing, a fundamental change in the approach of anything. Really, does that reflect the music of the album, or what does that concept mean to you?
Well, okay, so I first heard the definition of the word in my public speaking class last semester, and this is whenever like I had pretty much all the songs done, and we were still trying to figure out like a title name for it, and I heard it, and like the word just kind of stuck with me, and I felt like it really reflected the album, even though I wasn't like, it wasn't something that I was planning on. It was kind of just like, oh, this description fits kind of what's going on in the album, because it's kind of like, you know, you see something one way and then you can never see it like the old way again. So the album's definitely like me coming out of a dark place and going into like a happy mental state, like a good life. So it's kind of like, you know, I was so used to seeing the world as like this dark and cloudy place. But now, you know, I see it as like this happy, vibrant, beautiful place. And I don't think I'm ever going to go back to seeing it as poorly as I did before. And so, yeah, that's kind of where the name came from.
That's great to hear, though. I'm happy for you, man.
Yeah.
That's real exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah, because the album does have sort of, at least to me, it's very, like, the production and everything is very bright and jazzy. Was that, like, an idea you had before, or is that just the production style he does and he was just sending you beat packs, or how did you get it to have, at least personally, I think it's a very consistent sound. How did you think you got it there? Was it planned, or?
No, it definitely wasn't planned. The way me and Jed actually started working on the project is I did like a accordion by MF Doom remix, like probably like 7-8 months ago. And he saw it on Twitter, so he DM'd me, and I was in finals week of my first semester, and I had like taken a break from music completely at that point. But he was like, hey, I have some beats, can I send them to you? And he sent me like a beat pack of probably 150 beats, like 150, like an insane amount. And I was overwhelmed with school, so I kind of just put it to the side. Mm-hmm. But eventually, once I got on Christmas break, I kind of just I started just going through it, and there was a lot of soul sample, jazz samples, and stuff like that. He's definitely a sample-based producer, but yeah, I think I enjoy jazz and like 70s R&B and soul, and so I think I kind of just gravitated more towards those. He had some more like grimier stuff, but that's not really my style. So it's kind of like he had a variety of stuff, and I just kind of picked the stuff that I thought would fit best for me, even though I had never made anything like that before.
Right, yeah. And that's interesting. Who are some of your favorite jazz musicians that you think inspired you or inspired you to go to that sonic direction?
I really like Al Green. And I'm actually drawing a blank right now. Yeah, I'm honestly not too sure. Obviously, like Miles Davis,
right.
People like that, you know. But yeah, I think a lot of it is Jed. He loves listening to that stuff, and he's usually the one that's showing me that type of stuff. Like he'll always recommend me some jazz albums or some soul albums. He's the one to put me on that kind of music. So
that's great. Yeah. That's awesome. Because you were going back here. Lyrics are very honest and emotional. Is putting like those type of emotions and feelings into rhymes and, you know, schemes and everything like that. Was that something that was natural to you, or was that something you kind of had to get comfortable putting that much of yourself out there?
It definitely came natural, but it was still difficult because like ever since I started writing, it was kind of like a way to like deal with the world around me and what was happening. Like even back in 8th grade, like that was the type of stuff I was writing about. So it came naturally because like that's just kind of like the type of music I've always been into and stuff. But yeah, being that vulnerable through music can be very difficult, especially because I'm a very reclusive person in real life, kind of like introverted and quiet. And so letting people like see this other side of me and like kind of like what I'm really going through and the emotions I feel, and even like my own mother listening to my music and like her like getting an insight to my perspective of how I really feel about certain situations, it's very difficult. But you know, I think it makes for great music and honest music, and that's my favorite type of music. I don't think I can make any other type.
Right, definitely. No, but that's great that you can have, you know what I mean, music is this outlet for you to communicate with people like that. I think that's a very powerful thing, and one of the more exciting things about, you know, creating music and all of that. So I think that's really great.
Exactly.
Because you say you're more of a, well, not more of a writer, but you've been writing for a while, do you need like a beat to start writing a certain verse, or are these verses all just kind of, you're just constantly writing type stuff?
I usually do write to a beat. I wrote like I'll put like every 10 verses I write, it's like one of them will be just like me writing to nothing. But I like writing to the beat more. I think it definitely improves on cadence and it like you can fit the beat better. Because like obviously every beat's different. So yeah, I prefer writing to beats, but sometimes like I will write something that's just a no beat and it'll be like my best stuff ever. I don't even know why. But yeah, I enjoy doing both.
Yeah. Because you talk about working online a lot. Have you ever been in the studio? Do you think you would prefer being with somebody when you're creating, or are you comfortable doing the back and forth online and everything like that?
Yeah, I think I'm a lot more comfortable working online. The big problem is, you know, I live in a small town, not too many rappers around here, producers, and if they are, they like nobody listens to the style of music I make around here. Um, like if they do listen to rap, it's like trap or just like mainstream stuff, which I mean, nothing's wrong with that. It's just I don't want to make that type of music, and so it's hard for me to connect with producers or other rappers around me. But I do have an IRL friend and he'll come over and he's like recorded me or like sat in the chair, you know, while I rap and like record myself and like all that stuff. But it can be awkward sometimes. I think I perform better like vocally whenever I'm just by myself in my room.
Mm. Yeah, because going back to what you were saying, where do you think you got inspired to start making or go to sonic direction? Well, I know you mentioned the 70s and all of that, but like being the town you're from, I always think you're part of your environment, but you know, you kind of contrast that idea. So where do you think that came from?
Well, yeah, I think like you said, you're a part of your environment or like, you know, you kind of are who your environment is. But like ever since like middle school or high school, I kind of strayed away from the people like in my town. I mean, like I obviously had friends, but I think like even through high school, my best friends were like people I met online. And then, you know, I had people I'd hang out with because, you know, you kind of need that like physical hanging out other than just like an online call or whatever. But yeah, so I was always online. And like I think that's like the beautiful thing about the internet now. Cause like, you know, back in like the 80s or 90s, you know, like New York had a certain sound, Atlanta had a certain sound. And I think with the internet, you know, you're not just listening to what's around you. You can listen to music all over the world. So I think it's kind of turning it into like a pool or like a medley kind of different sounds. And I can grab inspirations from anywhere in the world, really. But yeah, I think just being online, it helped me discover a lot of new artists. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just the internet.
Definitely. Who did you when did you start like really listening to music, and who were some of those artists that you started off with?
I really started getting big into music probably my sophomore year. Actually, no, it was probably before that. It's probably like sixth grade. Because like my sister, she would always listen to a lot of music. And do you remember LimeWire? You know that like illegal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So she would always like download a lot of music on that, and then like put it onto my MP3 player or whatever. But then she put me on to like hip hop, so like Eminem and Lil Wayne.
Oh yeah.
That type of stuff back then. But then kind of as she got older and moved out, I was kind of on to myself, finding musicians. One of like the biggest like people that had like the most impact on my life, and like the music I listen to is Milo. He's been my favorite rapper for probably since like sophomore year, freshman year of high school. So I've always like it was hard to find that kind of music, like, you know, because nobody's playing it around where I'm at, so I'd have to go online, and then, you know, so yeah, I started with Milo, and then just started listening to all the people he's affiliated with. So at the time it was Open Mike Eagle, Bus Driver, No Can Do, just a lot of Hellfire Club members. And they really got me into abstract music, especially in like my developing years of listening to music, whenever my music taste wasn't like fully grown. So yeah, I just started listening to a lot of abstract rap, and that's whenever I really fell in love to it, was listening to Milo and all of them. But then, you know, as I got older and like senior year, I started listening to like Earl Sweatshirt. I'm really big into like the slums movement. Those guys, that's like Mike and all of them. I love Medane, all of those type of people. They're probably like my favorite style of artists right now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that Medane project was crazy. That Cold Water that he just dropped
Cold
is
Water.
unreal.
Yeah, I've been bumping that a lot.
For sure. Yeah, what have you? I guess those are the people you've been bumping recently, or have you been? Have you? Has it changed, or is it just strictly kind of not strictly, but more just that slum style as you described it?
It's my music style or taste has definitely changed a lot lately, especially just being on like music and hip hop Twitter. Like I get a lot of recommendations. That's my favorite thing about it, is I get to discover new music. I've been listening to a lot of Freddie Gibbs. Alchemist has dropped 3 great collab projects, or actually I think 4 this year. Obviously all the slums and the slums affiliates. And then RTJ, been listening to that a lot. Arm & Hammer just dropped a phenomenal album. Yeah, it's kind of like the same style of hip hop, and like I'll check out like mainstream albums every now and then, but it's usually nothing that I gravitate towards or like listen to more than a couple times. But yeah, I'm pretty set in stone on the type of music I like, and it's just that underground, abstract, lo-fi type shit.
Right, definitely, I feel that. Because there are a couple of features on Paradigm Shift that are kind of outside that collective you have, like Horace Raw and all of those talented people. Did you have those features planned out, or were you just like, oh, they would sound good on this beat, or what's that process like, trying to get for you picking someone to be on a song with you?
Yeah, I definitely, like halfway into it, I knew a lot of the artists I wanted on it, just because I had seen them like posting music on Twitter and stuff, and I was like, these guys are insane. That's definitely Horace Raw Mindset. Big shout out to him. I'm really happy I got him on the project. Chimaze, he's insane. He's gonna blow up soon. I already know that. He's one of my favorite artists. So yeah, I was really happy I got him on. Echo, of course. I was on his project like 2 projects ago. I was really happy to be a part of that, so I had to get him on this. He's a extremely dope rapper, and I know he's gonna do great things as well. No Legs, he's insane. He makes the same style of music I do. He's super dope. Matt Shumishi, he's my IRL friend. He like sang a chorus on My Love, so I knew he was gonna be on it. But yeah, it was more or less like I knew the artists I wanted on it, and there were like a few more that I wanted on it, but I didn't want to have too much features, so I kind of cut it down. But I was really happy with the feature list that I got, and I hope I didn't forget it. Oh, Nagasi. Yeah, he read the poem on Nostalgia.
Right.
Yeah. I was hyped about that because I really wanted a poet on my album, and yeah, he's perfect. Me and him are pretty cool, so yeah, it was nice getting him on there.
For sure. Would you consider this your debut album, or is that something you're still working towards, or is that even like a thought, like the concept of a debut?
I don't think I will call it an album. It's like my debut, like mixtape, because Baby Steps is just like an EP, so it wasn't like full length or anything. But yeah, I wouldn't call it an album because I see albums as like professionally mixed, and I did all the mixing and mastering on this, so I would just call it a mixtape. But it is my first full-length project, and yeah, I would like to call it my debut project because, I mean, I love Baby Steps, and I just feel like I rushed myself a bit on that. I think I made it in like a month and a half maybe, and yeah, I kind of wish I could go back and redo that because those beats are crazy. I just kind of rushed myself on the rapping part.
Yeah. Do you think that's something that, because from listening to Baby Steps to the Paradigm Shift, I definitely feel like there's definitely progression because you've definitely grown as not only a person but as an artist. But I feel like just also your confidence when you're rapping has changed a lot too. Do you think there's been a change, or what do you think's changed the most since the Baby Steps?
Well, the weird thing is so I started Paradigm Shift back in December, and then I started Baby Steps in February. So Baby Steps was kind of made in the middle of making Paradigm Shift. Okay. But the confidence in my rapping, that definitely changed a lot. I think that just, you got to be able to be comfortable on a mic. And I don't think I was at that point. I still don't think I'm like really comfortable on it, but I think my delivery is getting a lot better, and it's something I've been trying to focus on a lot more. Also, like mixing and mastering, I think I've gotten way better at that just through mixing mine and various other artists' project. Because Baby Steps was the first one that I mixed and mastered, and then I had somebody else engineer a bit more of it, but I think I did most of it. So yeah, I think my confidence level grew a lot. Even putting out Baby Steps and seeing the love and appreciation from that's gonna help my confidence a bit. And honestly, right now my confidence is through the roof from all the love I've gotten from Paradigm Shift. And I'm working on a new project right now. I got like 4 songs done, probably gonna do 4 more and then drop that soon.
Solid. What made you want to get into the mixing and mastering stuff? Because you said you want to start in school. You're already kind of starting on it. What made you want to go in that direction?
It wasn't anything I really thought of, like because back in like high school and middle school, I always like had the thought of becoming a rapper. But my senior year of high school, I took this class, and it was at like a college campus. It was like a sound engineering and like video class. And we got to work in these really expensive studios and just kind of like learn how to engineer sound. And so that was like my introduction to it. I don't think I ended up finishing the class. But up until me like dropping it, I think I had like 108 in it. Like I think I had the second highest score because he always gave extra credit on tests and shit if you knew extra stuff. So it's like I aced every test. I don't know why. I just fell in love with it. And I ended up having to relearn all of it once I started doing this stuff again because it was on a different DAW. And it just had been a lot of time. But relearning it has been fun. And there's definitely a lot more to learn to it. And I just enjoy like sitting down and listening to the music while working on something because everything I mix and master, I love it. Like especially Ian's project, like I'm pretty sure I already know every word to it, and it's not even out yet. Just for me mixing and mastering it.
That's great. I'm excited for the Ian project because he did really well he had a feature on Paradigm Shift too, right? And I think he killed it. Yeah.
He had one on Baby Steps as well, but his and he blows me away. He's like the one that keeps me on my toes. Like we always have like this friendly competition, and like we're making ourselves better and better, like literally every day. His writing is insane. Like his delivery is good, but like if you were to read the lyrics, that shit would blow you away.
Definitely. Yeah, that's exciting. That's great that you have someone like that too to kind of be in definitely competition with. That's exciting.
I didn't have anyone like that for a while, so he's definitely making me step up my game, and I appreciate that.
Definitely. The album starts off with a little like kind of, I guess, skit is what you would call it, of describing the similarities between like trees and a human being. And I've also just gone through your Twitter to see that you go on kind of hikes a lot. Is nature something that plays a role in your creative process, or how do you think nature comes into what you do?
So like as a kid, like I grew up on a farm, so I was like always outside and stuff. And then kind of towards the middle of my life, I moved back into like a neighborhood. And so I definitely like kind of switched from always being outside to just always being in my room. But these past couple of months, or like probably past 6 months or something, I found out that there's a hike trail like 10 minutes away from my house. So I've been going there just like almost every morning, and it feels like home to me almost, because it's like I was stripped away from being outside for like so long. Like I definitely could have went outside. It's just something that I didn't do once I went from like living on like multiple acres of land to just having like a tiny backyard. So yeah, it was like, I don't know. It was just like really, it feels like home again. And then also, my name is Animist. And so animism is like a philosophy that it believes like everything has like a soul inside of them, like inanimate objects. So like my biggest belief is like, things like the trees, the water, the wind, plants, like they all have souls. And so like being out there with the trees, it's kind of like, it feels good. It feels like I'm at home and with my people. And yeah, I'm also Native American, and that's what that like that intro kind of skit, like that opening guy talking. He was I think he was a Cherokee chief. And yeah, he was talking about it a bit, and I really like found that interesting. So like, I got to put this in the album. So yeah, because it ties in with my animism beliefs.
But how did you get into a belief system like that? Was that something that was big? You say you come from like a kind of a smaller town, and I feel like that's not I've never been to your town. I have no idea. I'm just talking out of my ass. But I just feel like that's not something that might be not accepted, but kind of not, pronounced in a town like that. So how did you get into that?
Milo, he has a song on his album "So the Flies Don't Call" called "Animist," and it's like a song. There's another song called "Animist" by I can't think of his name right now. I'm not even gonna try. But yeah, so Milo made a song called "Animist" or "Animist," and whenever I was thinking of my rapper name, this was like freshman or sophomore year, I was like, that's a cool word. And so that's why I picked it. Literally just not even knowing what it meant, just because it was a cool word, and I was really big into Milo at the time. But through the years, I kind of like, I've done some research on it myself, because yeah, like nobody around me like knows what it is. I explain it to people all the time, and they kind of look at me funny. But yeah, so I like did my own research on it, and it started making a lot of sense to me. And so I feel like it was kind of like, even though I chose it just for some stupid fucking reason of the word looks cool, I feel like it was like destined to be like, it plays a big part in my life now. So yeah.
That's a really interesting concept. I'll have to do my own research on that. That sounds really cool. Because I feel that where I was, I grew up in like a kind of suburban area, but it was a little bit more open. So we had to hike trails, and me and my friends would go fishing. But then when I went to college, I was living like right next to Orlando. So I was in this really like tight-knit like city, and then now I'm back. Now that I graduated, I'm back out in Tennessee, where we just got this nice big plot of land and everything like that. So I definitely feel it's weird to kind of go from having, all this open space to now I'm living in a 4x4 house with like another human being. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, it's a freeing feeling.
It is. Yeah, exactly. I've definitely enjoyed nature, and I definitely feel inspired by nature, kind of like what you're saying. So I definitely understand what you're saying. Your cover art always does a good job of reflecting the music to me. Do you approach are these like painters you approach, graphic designers? Do you have ideas when you're creating the music, or how do you come up with the cover art if you come up with it?
The cover art, it was like the last thing that we made. So like we had already had all the songs done. It was supposed to be on streaming last week, but we couldn't get the cover art in time, so we got it on streaming this week. It was kind of like, once we had everything figured out, I started searching for an artist. One of my friends goes to art school in Kansas, and he's a photographer, but he was like, hey, I have some like painter friends, I can hook you up. And so I got in touch with them, and it was originally going to be a painting, but the guy kind of said he thinks it'd be better if it was like a drawing with like markers and crowns, and it turned out fantastic. So much love to him. His name's Will Sudden Death. That's like his artist name, I think. But yeah, he did a great job on it. I love it.
Definitely. Yeah, I think it's a great cover art. I really like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and your beat selection is kind of contrasts your rhymes. You're talking about how you kind of rap about, I guess, the darker stuff, and your beats are very bright. Is that something that was kind of intentional, or when you hear a beat, you're just like, I like this, I'm going to write to it?
Yeah, and like I think the best example for that is Sunshine, because that beat is like really beautiful, and then it's like me rapping about my relationships with my friends falling apart because I'm an introvert that stays inside all the time. So yeah, it's definitely like a juxtaposition of that, but I don't think it was anything like a conscious decision of me trying to do it. I think it was more of just like, I like this beat, I'm gonna write to it, and then me end up writing some like super sad shit. And it's funny because like I'll play it to my mom, and like she doesn't listen to like hip hop or music that much, so she's just focused on the sound. So she's like, "Oh, this is such a beautiful song," and doesn't really understand the lyrics or like the actual concept behind it. It's kind of funny to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of people do that, which I think that's cool. Because like if you enjoy it for the sound, you can enjoy it for the sound. If you like it for the dark lyrics, you can like it for that. Is kind of like a wider variety. But I mean, usually I'll try to like the song Footsteps. I knew that was gonna be a sad song going into it. I already had like the subject matter picked out, and like that's probably like the saddest song on the tape. So yeah, I kind of like went in that and like went through the beat pack and found like the saddest beat I could find. It kind of reminded me of like some like E. coli like by Alchemist and Earl type stuff. But yeah, I felt like that really matched the style.
Definitely. Sunshine was the single, right? That was the first little
Yes.
piece we got before it. What's your process like when picking a single? Why did you go with that one?
I think I picked that just because one, I didn't want it to have a feature. The single, I just wanted it to be myself, and it has a hook on it, and I don't have too many hooks, and I don't know, I kind of just wanted the single to be kind of catchy. And so when people hit play on the album, and it's the second track, so it's kind of like, you hear the intro, and then it's kind of like something you're kind of familiar with, gets your attention. Hopefully you already know the words to the hook already if you listen to the single. But yeah, that was kind of my thought process behind that. And I just felt like it was a good song. If like I didn't care about having a feature on it, like on the single, I probably would have released Reasons with Horace, because that's probably my favorite song on it. But I feel like, keeping one of my favorite songs like on there until the actual release is a good thing, just so people aren't too unimpressed. There's still more to come.
Right, definitely. Because you have a couple of different singles on there that are they on your Bandcamp. Are they ever going to end up on projects, or are those just kind of, for lack of better terms, loosies that you kind of had just that you wanted to get out?
Yeah, they're definitely. I don't know if they're loosies, but they won't be on projects. Right now, all the projects I'm working on, which is multiple, they're all just collab projects with different producers. So it's like just 50-50, all beats from them, all raps from me. I really like doing that. I feel like it makes it gives the album a certain tone, rather than having multiple producers on it. And so if I do just do like a single, like with not a random producer, but like with a producer, I'll just release it as a single. And then like on Too Much Love, I'm not sure if you heard that was with a producer named Cruel. We did that back in February, and then it's like now we're working on the project together, but we're just gonna put all new stuff on the project.
That's interesting. That's really cool. I like the kind of one producer, one rapper. It's very like very early. That's what they were doing like in the 80s and 90s type stuff. You know what I mean? With, like CL and Pete Rock and all that. You know what I mean? So I think that's really.
Yeah.
Would you say that inspired you, or is that just how you create? Is that just part of your creative process, being able to kind of sit down and lock in with one person?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know that it was something that they used to do. So, yeah, it's definitely just something that I like doing. I think it's because just working with Jedos, he's been like a great first person to work with. He really like set the tone for all these other producers I'm gonna work with because he's great with like we'll sit in Discord calls for hours just making sure whatever we need to get done gets done. And so yeah, it really helps. And I think just like the main reason I do it is I like projects feeling like it's one project. And I feel like if I have different styles of producers, it can kind of make a disconnect throughout the production. It might be something I do in the future, but for right now, I know that my next 5 or 6 projects are all going to be with one producer at a time.
Okay. You have like those 5 or 6 projects like planned out, like you know who you're working with, or
Yeah. I got I'm working on one with Cruel right now. That's the one where I have half the songs done. Then I'm working on one with Tufo. He's like a instrumentalist, lo-fi producer. He's really dope. And then I'm working on one with this producer named Naj, Nauj. I don't know if I said that right. He's really cool. He's like a lo-fi, choppy. I don't really know how to describe it, but experimental almost. He's cool.
Okay.
And then who else? Oh, actually, no. I think that's it. I think that's it for right now. But there's other ones, people that ask me and stuff, and like I said in the future, just because I'm not trying to get too far ahead of myself. But those are the 3 that I'm like actively writing for right now.
That's exciting. That's real exciting.
Yeah.
So do you ever think that you're just we kind of touched on this before. Do you ever think you're just writing to write, or you're always writing focused on a project that you know is going to go somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, because I'll usually write to a beat and like it kind of depends how I'm feeling because definitely the projects will have different moods. Right now I'm really putting a main focus on Cruel's project. So usually like whenever I feel the need to write, I'll just hop on my computer and pull up a Cruel beat. But if I feel like it's going to be a bit darker, then I'll pull up a Naj beat because I know that project's going to be like really dark and moody and all types of stuff. So yeah, it kind of depends how I'm feeling. But if I write like just to no beat, I'll usually just go through all the beats on my computer and just whoever is the one that I like the most and feels like it will fit, that's the one I go for.
I feel that. What inspires you? What's been inspiring recently to kind of, because it seems like you're putting in a whole lot of work right now. You're really grinding the stone. What's been inspiring that recently?
The lack of time. Like I feel like I'm a college student right now. I'm only a freshman, but you know, you can do this rapping stuff and not make any money from it whenever you're in school. But if I'm like out trying to get a job and like a family and all this stuff, I'm just trying to make the most of my time, really. And I feel like if I were to waste even a second, then that wouldn't be right. And I owe myself more than that. So that's the main thing that's inspiring and motivating me. Another thing is all the love and support I've been getting through, like, not just like, I don't want to call them my fans because most of them are literally just like my friends or mutuals on Twitter or whatever. Like the people that like support my music, and even like my family has been super supportive of all of this, which is like one of the best feelings ever because it was something I've always like, I don't want to say been ashamed of, but you know, growing up in like a small town in Oklahoma, there's not too many rappers, and people look at you weird if you say you're a rapper. So yeah, it took a while for them to come around, but once they started seeing that like I'm actually doing this and like I'm decent at it, I think they started showing a lot more support, and I appreciate that.
That's awesome. That's really great, man. I think that's all the questions I have. So I appreciate your time and all of that, and congrats on the project. And I'm excited to see what comes next, man, for sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for interviewing me. This was fun.
No, I'm glad. Yeah, no, for sure. Anytime. I'm a big fan. So I'm always going to be supporting for sure.
Thank you. I was just like wondering like how long does it usually take, or like when do you think this will be posted? Like, no rush. I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, I usually, because I want to do it like at least one a week, and I have one for tomorrow already. So the Friday after that, it'll be up.
Perfect. I'm excited for that.
Definitely, man. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'll talk to you.